site, and already we're going to see some early mid push here to try and split over towards that area.
Yeah, this is very much, I'm eyes on Guild here to see how they look. It's going to be a big test for them. See how much they've prepared for this, how much they've been able to work through some of the previous matches. Again, it's not like they completely shy away from this map either. It's not necessarily a bad map for them in that regard, but obviously comparably, that's where the differences are made. So we wait and see, and it's very much a test. And looking like they're waiting for any sort of aggression or any tail signs coming out from G2 that simply aren't coming in. You generally need to force the aggression or kind of tempt them into it. But as it stands, a minute now on the board, they start to look to maybe start exploring their options themselves. But mid's not where they fancy.
Towards B main. First one you got to clear is that chamber towards yellow. Going to send them all the way towards Snowman. So drone may be enough. Force Mimi out here. Just one shot you can really take, but as it tags you, kind of hard to keep playing forward. Not committing off that yet. Can perhaps swing off of the Heaven presence from Petra once she finds contact. Then Mimi can swing on out here. If you shut this down before they can actually make some headway over towards yellow, this side hit is going to fizzle out completely.
Yeah.
I have the spike.
You're going to have to fall away, and you're right, back down to Snowman. Petra then becomes the kind of point man on this. Plant going to come in, and
we are on that wall.
On the wall. So the right click's perfect. Going to take that down. Now, at least secure a little of the side. Now, they did trade someone back in the meantime. Smurfette was picked up in the end. Mimi going to find Klaudia, and now it's just 3 alive. So Roxy, Ness, and aNNja. Let's see what this post-plant looks like. Still playing pretty deep there. Going to leave one player pushed up. That's going to be aNNja, at least towards site. So trying to keep their head tucked in a little behind this wall, and a dirty wall position.
There's an imposter!
A decent attempt, only good for one, but still favorable numbers towards G2 here. I'm wanting to see that backline do some damage. There's now just Roxy with a great shot. Precious time being purchased here. They need to get on this spike, and they need to get Roxy out of this angle. 21 HP, not enough to make much of it. And the fuse will be there. G2 carving their name on the board first and foremostly.
So heavily for the early push. We're playing behind that Sage wall.
They bought up.
But yeah, they did. And it's not even Stingers. It's 4 Spectres here going for the light armor rush as well with this wall to get them under tube. They're actually just going to go 5 kitchen instead.
All right, Mary, let's see what you got. Are you feeling a little bit of the pressure here? Aldraun going to come in. Dealt with. Still 2 flashes to invest and so much presence. Big swing from Guild. Overwhelming too. Mary and Petra go down, leaving Mimi now pretty much on an island. Can't back away safely and punished for it. This is perfect from Guild. Bringing those Spectres into those close quarters to find those favorable fights, and they made it work. Now, they didn't try and snowball in towards the side off the back of it. They peeled away towards middle, leaving Juliano with a chance here. Dealt with. Really heads up play from Klaudia there to keep check on Juliano or anyone trying to aggress back in. This is a huge win out for Guild so far.
100%. This is exactly what I was talking about, right? The initial strategy is really good from Guild, right? We're going to push through mid. We're going to wall off here, but go very heavily in towards kitchen with this force. But then the choice to fall back. I think they had info of Glance actually rotating back towards deep outside of kitchen there. Didn't necessarily know that someone was underneath too, which is really good stuff for a moment. Smurfette's going to want that one back, but she's got the rest of her team to lock this down almost certainly. Spectres in the hands of everyone. So Guild are going to lose just 1 player on that force. That's a way to make a statement here after losing the pistol on G2's map.
Yeah, this is gonna put G2 on red alert, right? This is sick. I like this. I like them coming in proactive. I like them trying to go for these little bit risky force plays, because you noted it early. Those weren't Stingers. They're full on Spectres and light armor. So already, replay, man. You doing dirty.
we got a hive of bumblebees.
Okay, it's all good. 1-1. Going to send G2 right back to the drawing board. Now, the Headhunter, probably the most dangerous thing in this collection. Yes, there is a Sheriff with Mary, but again, you got to look at keeping this clean for Guild. They can really build up those funds, get everything going their way early on. See if they can make some good ult progress. Claudia's doing wonderfully already, only 2 away from getting right on towards it, so it should be clean. Let's see if they can do just that. There is 5 players here for G2, so right place for it.
Going for the plant as well. Someone has to hold, but the flashes make it so hard. Good on Ness there to lock it down. And now aNNja sort of stuck here. is able to walk on out, and Petra finding a kill with the Sheriff evens things up to 3-on-3, but there's still post-plant utility to work with here with the alarm bot potentially to swing off of. Now the wall comes on through. G2 continues to scale up towards yellow.
Be a 3v3. It shouldn't be a 3v3. Lock this down, Guild. This is not where you start losing. Okay, stabilize with 3 standing, plant in. They've got it. They're good. So it's end of the world. But ult progress is fantastic for Guild. Across the board, looking really solid. Would be nice to have potentially one of those online for this round to maybe hedge their bets a bit. But eyes towards Klaudia, eyes towards Smurfette to be the ones to instigate something here. Be that catalyst to potentially convert this bonus round. So Juliano pushed up. And Glance going to try and bait her in a little here. Let's see how this goes down, because it looks like that slow lean towards A is coming in.
Where they're headed right now. A lot of times teams will wait until they have maybe like the lockdown on their Killjoy attacking with this comp to actually commit in towards that A site, because again, it's very hard to actually take space. You don't have a jet to maybe dash in. You don't have flashes to get past that Viper wall.
Okay, and they still don't know about Juliano.
Brutal.
So again, she could stay here if they want to. Depends how they want to play it out, but it looks like Guild are now re-exploring towards middle a little bit. The knife potentially caught 1 or 2.
That's a little bit too deep in spawn to spam through that wall. It's kind of thick.
Ambitious.
18 crates stacked on top of each other, but I respect it regardless.
You know, sometimes you gotta really try and punch above your weight. You know, you gotta try and make it count. But Juliano is the problem. Oh, and what a shot towards aNNja. Not gonna get any more. Smurfette's still standing and Ness still there. There should be a rifle to be able to get towards Ness's hands. I think, yeah, there it is. So picked up, that's fine. They still have a little bit to play with here. Still going on the orb farming. But look at the positioning. Still sitting super deep towards the site. Again, a nice little crossfire. Just sat in a complementary position. Glance and Petra going to be very hard to break down with only 9 seconds and limited amounts of utility. Maybe they could clear the corner, but again, with the time being such a problem, it's not going to happen. So G2 got
another one of the reasons why teams will like to play this double, you know, sentry composition. I call it with those scouting tools, is that you don't have to worry about multiple players on the flank nearly as much, or at least you're always going to know if that's happening. Whereas just a chamber trip on its own, a little bit unreliable when jet smokes can come into the picture, Viper smokes if she's pushing out of one of the extremities. But now, so lockdown to hit this site, and there's a Sage Wall and a Viper Wall they have to get past. I'd very surprised to see this work out for them.
Yeah, 3 players at the back of site. See what they've got for this. Instantly going to pop Hunter's Fury. Going to try and at least ward away 2 of them. You'd ideally want to tag off this. Not going to really happen.
Oh, they got the ult for the ult.
The KJ ult.
There they go.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is like one of the only ways to very reliably take this A site. Use some of the verticality with the zip line, as well as that lockdown to scale up quickly, and then play very far off of site. Notice 4 players currently playing off site, now 5 playing deep. They have lineups, they have mollies, aplenty to stall out here.
Yeah, I'm looking towards the back line as well to see if they can keep Ness alive in this. There is going to be that challenge from Mimi eventually. See how that comes in, because that could be the saving grace right now. Already Juliana going to break back into the site, and the trades are good until then. Klaudia digs the heels in. Denies, and now it's just Mimi who was on that flank. So now Klaudia, great readjustment. Tucking towards the back of the site and going to try and play the time as much as possible. The shot, not what she wanted there, but still going to try and play this to perfection. A tap on the spike, and Mimi has to at least get this halfway, and Klaudia played it to perfection. Great.
So returning towards that ultimate guild. Bit of a roll here. And G2, 3 rifles, the chop, the Spectre heading into this one. A very early Sage Wall. Try and lock off any early orb play. That was maybe the flaw with how G2 were holding A in the previous round, with just 1 orb off the Killjoy ult. They played a deep wall back towards Maze that actually gave up full control over the orb, let Roxy get that one, and fully take that A site very, very easily. Now the null command just to try and stall out an A. I mean, I think Guild are going to be very happy with that, and they're still scaling forward here, getting the kills on the entry as well, as Klaudia turns the corner and knocks out Glance on top.
That's perfect work again. This is great stuff. Especially with the Viper's Pit still to be invested if they want it. They've got plenty of tools to play with for them to be able to break this back in. I mean, it's going to be brutal. Roxy, great positioning. The shot, not ideal. Had a chance on that, and now will be addressed by Petra too. So completely played out of this round, but drawing attention and buying time. I mean, I guess by proxy, that's not a bad knock-on effect, but Mimi already starting to work her way towards the site. Has a little look out, and now Klaudia shows her hand. It's perfect. The positioning is great. And Juliana was noted earlier, and this time Roxy makes no misses. Gonna close it down for stand. And Guild
absolutely love it. I'm a Viper main on this map, so I play those ratty little things from time to time, and it lets Smurfette have a little bit better of an angle from playing from a position where that's kind of a one-way for your opponents. Smurfette also just getting it done on her own, walking into tube and getting the first kill of the round.
Yeah, lovely early damage. Nullifying that little bit of an aggressive play, that little pocket piece that Mary was trying to bring out, that underhand flash through tube, didn't really make much of it. Thought it caught Smurfette a fair amount. Absolutely didn't. Zero impact from it. So for now, it's just kind of playing as a pack, right? You still got these 3 players here and the 2 holding the extremities. Guild just going to try and bully their way through the middle of the map, which is fine. G2 happy to take a couple of challenges, but aim training for aNNja, making it look like light work. Comfy stuff. Now just glance. Still makes a little bit of damage. Any more would be a surprise, and there it is. So all good. I'm annoyed.
And get this next round going for them, because right now they're set up for a bit of an A hit. Checking in on the ultimates, they don't have that lockdown ready to go. So the assault on Arasaka Tower not going to be the easiest thing in the world for them.
Okay. You're spiraling. I need to bring you back from the brink. Please, thoughts and prayers for sweet
Thoughts
Ender.
and prayers.
Yeah. I mean, we need to get chat out the gutter. They're absolutely losing their minds.
Come on,
Maybe
guys.
just worrying about you would be the better part. You know, just flame the casters. It's way easier.
That's so real. I'm going to flame us.
As they should. Now, let's have a look at this round. So they've kind of trained G2 into really keeping note towards this A side, already pulling near on 4 players here. So much faith is being put on someone like Mimi to hold this down. Now, if Roxy shows at the right time, this could draw maybe a rotation, pull him out of place, but Roxy gets dealt with, so they don't have to overreact to this. They can stay as they are with these 3 players still posted towards A, still believing in the hit that's coming their way, and the double pump comes in. Now, Smurfette on the entry, but it's Mary to deny the trades. Finding 2 is big value. Red's going to be invested for aNNja. We're back to a 3v3, but Glance quickly slips into a great position, does eventually get traded, but still, a fight on the site is perfect. The spike does need to get back into hand, but still, Guild have a fair shot at this one, but both players for G2 are here.
Very hard to actually commit to planting the spike, though, because Smurfette's playing outside of the ultimate. Gonna stick to it right there, and the double swing loses the crosshair at the last possible second. Seeing Mimi coming around the corner, and it all comes down to Ness in a 1v2.
The one bonus does have the Viper's Pit in place. And she'd be the monster in the mist to make this work. Mimi there, Petra there, backs not facing this way in a turn, but still gets caught. And now time to be purchased for the snake bite, and the shot is gorgeous from Ness. Clutching the hell up, and Guild continue forward. There has to be a timeout from G2 pretty soon, because they are not looking ready for what Guild are.
Now, Guild finally going back towards this B site. Mimi looking for the early aggression, actually gets one. That's insane. But the rest of her team have no rifles to work with, so even in the 4-on-4, it's not going to be too advantageous. The person you kill as well is just the chamber, so that's no utility even stolen away from the other side.
Yep. Shouldn't be a problem now. Claudia's starting to heat up in this one.
I love Klaudia on these walls. Every time, rising up on those, looking at the frags.
I have to say as well, like, I was a fan of Claudia in CS. Like, watching her play, she came into, I think it was like the CLG Red roster towards like the end of its big run at the time. Playing against obviously Juliano, Zaz, it's a classic roster kind of matchup. And Claudia, when she starts popping off, it's real nice to watch. So, clean, no problem. Got him. But yeah, Petra and Mary should be a formality, and it is. Guild making it to 7. G2 yet to really find a reply to this. I want to see them hit the timeout button. I want to see them try and come back into this and close out with the rest of the round.
That's where all the clips that the TikTokers get her from. Like, I'm always like, wow, that's such an insane play. And then I look at the top and it's like, game over, 4-3. Oh, okay, makes sense.
Yeah, it adds up. But getting back underway, this is where G2 should have come up with a plan, right? They've got Mimi back on the operator, they've got Glance with the res, you've got Mary one off all. So it's like they've got a couple of bits and pieces to work with, and they're already exploring towards A. So trying to be proactive, maybe looking for information towards middle, which they're doing with the owl drone. I want to see them cheat a player over towards B. They have enough information to try and support Mimi here.
Now, we haven't seen G2 go for any sort of like multi-flank, but again, hard to versus Killjoy Turt and all those alarms work against. So again, looking like another 5-player retake. This time though, using the Viper ult, stalls out a little bit, so Guild have to wait for Ness to get those gas charges back up, and Mimi gets that kill during the timing. A bit of an ill-advised peek from Klaudia there. But time continues to dwindle, and G2 clearing away some of that post-utility as well.
getting a little stalled here for Guild. I want to see if they have something to depend upon. I mean, no ults are going to get them on site here. And you still got walls, so I have to see when they decide to go for that. But even then, they don't have that springboard to the site. They haven't even crossed the yellow, so they're waiting for that to come back online so they can at least kind of cycle through so they can cross up. The wall goes a little deeper, and the plant should be able to come in now. Should.
I mean, it's tough with this wall. It doesn't give them a lot of options. They have to fight their way into this site. The pop and swing out of Juliano almost works, but Ness and Smurfette clean house. I don't know how they did it with that wall.
But I'd be frustrated if I was G2 on that one, because you feel as though you're in the right place. You got that first pick. You had all the players there. Yeah, I have to see what they can do now. Again, Juliano taking contact will show where that one rifle is. Now, obviously, they don't know the intricacies of this purchase, but they're going to have a decent idea. It's far from ideal.
I mean, finally, we're going to see a multi-flank coming out of G2, but this is kind of like a throwaway play on the light buy here. The op in hand, though, does give some options for Mimi taking this long angle, but Guild aren't really fighting them. They don't have the lurks coming through from Roxy anymore. They're fully bought into committing in towards this B site. The defensive sage wall, they break a bit. And now as they peek back into spawn, this could be trouble for them.
Certainly could be. And there's the first. Mimi connects. Oh, I thought the second was on, but not at all. Smurfette with a quick trade, and that is now the danger player eliminated. I guess excluding that rifle, still in the hands of Juliano.
Klaudia, okay, just taking Mary's head off right there and gets the pick in mid, puts that pressure. You can see Glance has to peek back underneath too, but we're just 4 players into that B site now. The vertical wall comes through. A revive and an ult. Now that's interesting as Juliano gets shot straight on through the wall. And the plant will come in regardless. Eyes on Glance on this big flank here. But it's a Spectre versus an op. Good luck.
Fortunately for Glance, at least got an upgrade. But even then, that operator has got you dead to rights. Smurfette should be hitting this every day of the week. Doesn't quite get the shot she wanted. Both players get revealed. Actually, so much information now coming through, but they still need to make something of this. Glance needs to close the gap, and they simply cannot. Guild finally bringing some fight back to G2. I mean, this feels like a lifetime in the
second or third cycle of the Viper gas, and now actually we're going back to a mid hit. Petra, though, finds the first.
Yeah, big pick from Petra. I think that was just fully blind, just spamming in, but you take him when you get him. Klaudia trying to pick up the pace a little bit here. Petra goes exploring, and again, Guild just rolling as a pack animal here. Mimi trying to address the problem towards mid, finally handles 2, but they still know that the 2 players that made up Tube are still around. The spike being left where it is, not a problem. Investing the lockdown should at least get them back with the spike in hand, but Mimi wasting no time is going walkabout. She wants to get around to the other side. Not a bad plan, but we'll miss a little bit of the timing on this, I'm almost certain. It's Roxy, yeah, slips back through, so that timing window that maybe Mimi was looking for has now been closed, but it's Juliano with a judge on the other side.
This is crazy. And they're expecting her to be in B main too, right? That's where the ult was. She gets baited by the gun on the ground. And now we have that crazy Fnatic ult coming out through Kitchen. They're going to get a topside plant and have so many options in terms of where they want to play. They've got double mollies on both players as well. Good luck, Mimi.
Yep. 1v2. What do you got for us? Oof. Okay, look close, but there's a problem. There's an entire Vibe pit in the way. There's now a snake vine, and I'm pretty sure there's some KJ utility just, you know, dotted around the place.
Yeah.
So Mimi really is not having a good day. It's actually a severely bad day. You know what, Ender? I didn't need that. I really didn't need that today. That's well. I've just been hurt in such a personal way. Right, back into the game though, Guild. I'm really not recovering from this. Gonna have a fair amount of their, I guess, approach noted. That knife, I think, at least caught 2 of them. So, pretty telling, as you can see G2 instantly hightailing it towards A.
Look what's on the A site, though. Killjoy, utility, the Viper wall we got to get through as well. We're just sending it, though. Mary doesn't care. Pushes her way straight onto the site, gets that one. Molly's not popped just yet. They come out now, though. That's going to buy time. This spike cannot go down. They've got 3 players here ready to flood on through, and a flank on the way as well. Ness could be the difference maker in this round.
And it could be. Knife up. Gonna note 2. This is a long road back, so I mean, not gonna have 5 standing as a start already, but you know, I don't believe in the 2 to 10 comebacks, but happy to have my mind changed. aNNja dealt with 4 standing, all good. Now, is this like there's
I see.
fun little bit of banter? It's one or the other, and the bully hunters will be after me, and it'll be terrible. Oh God, it'll look like that. Ness left in an absolute. I don't want to say mess because it rhymes, but on the floor, yes. 5
Yes, also
people.
rhymes.
I hate it, and I've got myself in a terrible position here.
Just Fancy's dropping bars for us today.
Please stop it. I'm just gonna let you cast this round where I think about my actions. Enjoy.
All right. Well, Ness wasn't able to clep a kill onto Petra right there.
Revealing area.
Just more cyberpunk lingo. What can I say? Hey, site completely open. Honestly, Guild give this one up pretty easily, but I'd love to see some multi-flanking that we didn't see from G2. I know I say this every time when I get to cast Icebox, but the more people you can put on a flank, the better it ends up being playing that post-plant, unless you can use a lot of utility to stall out the plant initially. Juliano's holding the swing, but the double swing comes on through. That's what I'm talking about. If one person's flanking, you never beat the attacker. But with 2, it ends up working until a couple more players get recalled there from G2 to shut down that coming on out. So we're going to walk away with this round, but the theory is there. Give me more.
I really enjoy that. Basically, what you're saying is larger number, better.
True.
I got it.
Because I hate it so much because, so here's the thing. I'm talking because like the 2 positions that you're retaking from pretty close to each other. You don't have like that crunch pressure unless you're getting players coming through all the way through A main, which granted, a lot of angles very hard to clear through. But it's why like some teams like Fnatic have been so strong in the past on this map is committing multiple players onto a flank to try and shut that down and guarantee some value out of the flank rather than just flipping the coin with, yeah, 1 player flanking, that is flipping the coin because you can't necessarily clear everything or they're going to have the jump on you, but like generally committing a couple extra players to at least testing the area and maybe even you kill that flank watch and then rotate back into the rest of the team.
Ahead.
I love that you spiraled on that topic for a solid minute. It's my favorite thing. I'm going to ask you about this more often.
I'm passionate about it, okay?
I can tell. Hey, and look, passion's important, all right? And at this point, we're in a post-plant, so maybe
who cares about a bonus round?
Flank. Hey, they've got Bulldogs. This is a pretty juicy bonus. At this point, Juliano makes a bit of a meal of that. Roxy comfortable on the pickup, and now you've got a lot of players going back in through middle. Now, it's going to be a little bit tricky to clear towards kind of, yellow, towards long, but still a fair amount of utility in the kit.
Sage wall up.
To play with. There it is, stage wall down, but aNNja up and over, going to try and just get in their faces and get behind the lines. Guild absolutely shattering G2. Just running head first in. It's 11 for Guild, and G2 on this kind of turnaround get halted. And now, that was a bonus, but again, when you're at, what was it, 4 to 10? You kind of need a lot of these rounds. Now, they did do a lot of impact on the bonus. They did pretty well, but you kind of wanted to see that being converted if you want that big turnaround, because again, at some point, you've got to feel that someone on Guild can probably get you a round, right? They'll have 1 pop-off round, so when you bring in those unforced and forced error conversations, but for now, let's see what G2 can do on their attacking side.
What? Mimi just walks all the way up on her own. That's crazy.
How'd she manage that?
And now, I don't think Guild have any idea what's going on in this round, right? Like, they saw a drone down B main at the start, then there's this lurk up A. Now it's a split B out of nowhere. The turret will spot out that under 2 player, and that could pose problems now. aNNja re-clear space into kitchen.
Yeah.
I like what they're doing, leaving this player here. Juliano, tucked towards this area, can just really complement them, try to explore towards the B site, make sure they can't hit that easy rotation through middle. Now, there are 2 players re-clearing this, though. You can see instantly looking towards CT, well aware of this. Roxy's still going to find some damage, though. And again, Roxy on this map can be so integral to outcome. Gonna spot Petra. Big shot from Petra. Still staying alive on 15 HP, leaving it all down to Ness. And these positions are hard to clear. Not going to find a free fight here at all. First one comes in, not going to get past the first challenge. So, G2, 3 standing. It's a long...
Worry about, but I think generally speaking, finding timing peaks versus an attacking Sova often going to be a good look here for Smurfette.
And Smurfette trying to work off the back of the Aldrome, but G2 quite committed. I'm looking at this positioning coming across from the 2 players from spawn. Aldrome back in. Really good protocol list to ensure that no one is there to punish that, because that could have been an issue. Now, there is a fair amount of presence on this side, and Roxy in a great position off the back of the turret too, so well aware, but Mary just swings it. Deletes Roxy, and now Ness left to her own devices, the only one here, and still finding value. Mimi's gone, and fully aware that there's going to be further problems. Ult comes in, they want to secure the site, already feeling a little bit of the pressure as Guild have so many players ready to go. Mary outdone, and now the problems start to mount.
Mary looks a little lost there on what to do, ends up falling. Petra does get a return kill, still have to clear back through this Viper's Pit. Smurfette coming around up through Maze. Petra playing outside makes it so hard for Smurfette to take any sort of space up to 410. aNNja gets the kill. Smurfette finds a second, and it all comes down to glance, a wall out, and Smurfette swinging around Maze. It's going to be Guild going up to match point.
Oh, we are looking like Pearl is on the cards, and a rude awakening for G2. Now, this is when the discussion of floating Pearl at this point, could it be an issue? Because leading up until this point...
4 seconds left on the clock. That would be good. That would be a good idea.
That's a shorty.
Not a rifle.
Right. Right. Why you gotta do this to us? Just going straight boaster and OT right now.
Fake friend. Ness is a fake friend. That's brutal.
At this point, you would say that with this many ults, you should be fine. Maybe there's method to this. Maybe Roxy decided this is the way she wants to be. There's always that person like, no, don't drop me. It's fine. You know, they you know, the pick me friend of the group. We do have the plant coming in, and we can already see the Guild are playing full on for retake at this point. They do have the lockdown. Sadly, though, with Mary popping the ult, that does not get brought into the equation anytime soon. But sitting pretty enough towards the screens, Roxy still holding a fair amount of the space here, but has been noted that there's that lockdown, and Roxy just runs in. No trade off the back, though. That was just madness. And this isn't the round that, you know, we were like, oh, G2. Do you remember that moment? They were at 6-12, and suddenly they were back all even. Surely not. Mary still doing damage. Gonna find Klaudia, and now it's all on Ness in a 1v4. It's not looking like this is gonna be the one to make it happen on. And it is 7 now for G2. There's 4 standing, and a fair amount of those ults just got burnt up.
The crazy shorty push coming through from Roxy. I think that may have benefited them a little bit more. Still, though, have 4 ults going into this next round. And hey, Roxy has a gun this time, so it's going to be a little bit better for them this time around.
Hey, she made the best of a bad situation, you know? Made something happen. Fight in there. Very brave. Now, again, for G2, though, talk about their ult cycle. Mary used hers. You've got Petra without theirs. Juliano, you know, a long way off. This is probably the hardest round that they're going to have in a while. Yes, their buy is a little better, you could argue. You know, the light armor still there with Klaudia, but obviously those ultimates are very much influential to outcome. They are the ones that can truly take something off course. It does look like it's going to be this B piece coming in. On the other side, you are going to have Ness there. Not far off from this.
Probably just going to play for mollies to stall out the plant. Now, the knife did hit her, so it's going to be hard to get another molly out for a little bit of time. KO on the way, though, and Ness finds the kill on danger. A second for aNNja as well. Guild are lining him up.
And the res comes in as well. There's just no rest for the Wicked. Glance quickly deals with Ness, but you still know that aNNja's lingering around. Petra towards the side, but you can see the ult B posted. Claudia's going to connect towards that one, and the follow-up as well. Petra had nowhere to go to. So down to Mimi and Glance, or this is all but done, and we're looking at Pearl. And Mimi, well, she's putting up a fight. Now a 2v3. Steps out again, gets a second shot at it. 12 seconds now. Mimi finding Klaudia. Smurfette with a trade, but it's now on Glance in the 1v2. Smurfette there and Roxy. What are you going to do with this? Glance can't even escape the site. Smurfette is going to take them across the finish line, open up map 3. And was this a trap, or was it the biggest fumble we're going to see from G2 Ender? That is what I need to know.
Defenders win.
I cannot wait for this third map. Guild putting on such a strong showing versus G2. 1-1 going into a third, a potential finals rematch already. And we get to know who comes on top today in just a few minutes.
Yeah.